welcome to the Untitled Anarchist Seagull channel's Saturday night chill stream. We're gonna play some Geoguessr, we're gonna bowl some bouncers at some reactionaries, and see what else is going on. Well, hello, Mask. Finding this drinking tea before I do my first stream of the evening is a pretty good habit. I actually end up energetic enough to do a second one as a result. Okay, let's see where we end up. Instalaciones eléctricas, plomería. Okay, so we're in a Spanish-speaking place. Nothing in there actually is particularly indicative of which Spanish-speaking place it might be. Let me see. Any political graffiti? No. That in itself already suggests that it's not Chile. Un país hispanoparlante, sí. A ver. We need a stop sign. Diputado. Diputado federal. Okay. Federal MPs would be Argentina, Mexico. We transfer your cassettes to DVD. Romita. Okay, the town this is in, or neighborhood, or whatever it is exactly, it's called Romita. Felipe Jesus. Tú me conoces. Corona. Okay, we're in Mexico. And a tortilleria as well. Okay, yeah. Definitely Mexico. You can tell a country in Latin America by their beer ads. Partido Verde Ecologista de México. Yeah, okay. Yeah, mayoral candidate. Yeah, it's often Mexico. Oh, there's rather a lot of Mexico. And as a result, I mean, also it just looks a bit scuffed for Chile. And if it were Chile, it would be full of political graffiti. Neighborhood like this. Capilla de Velación, okay? Abarrotes La Perla. Yeah, I get Argentina fairly regularly. Fud. La Costeña. The only brand of like Mexican salsas you can get in Santiago is La Costeña. And then they turned out to have some sort of scandal a couple of years ago, I seem to remember, involving like excrement in some of their jars. I don't remember exactly what the deal was. Okay. Come on, give me something more than this. Ángel Córdoba. Guanajuato. Okay, Romita, Guanajuato. There's Muckleflugga. An actual place name of an actual island. Guanajuato. ¿Dónde está Guanajuato, weón? Zacatecas, Nayarit, Tamaulipas. Ah, Guanajuato. Okay. La Piedad, San Luis de la Paz, Mineral de Pozo, ya Gran Doctor Mura, Campo. Okay, I had the feeling this is in one of the less green parts of Guanajuato. It just looks less. That looks less green. Mesa de palote. El pensil. I mean, one option is that it's. Oh, let's see. Could it be just a suburb of San Luis Potosí? Potrero de Adentro, San Ángel, San Ángel, la Virgen Pipila, las flores, el diamante. Cummins. And how you doing today? Oh wait, that's Potosí. Okay. León, let's see. We got a Rumita in León. O al lado de León. Saus. León, parte 2. Arvide. León, parte 1. Ninguno las ladrilleras. Nombre más raro, weón. Ex cuartel militar. Ah. San José del Tanque. Saint Joseph of the Tank. Ah, en alguna parte de Guanajuato será. "38 kilometers. I wasn't too wrong. The idea that this was probably a suburb of something. Okay. Somehow does not feel North American. Yeah, definitely isn't. It is either the Netherlands or Belgium. That was Dutch Flemish. Was Flemish. Flutch. Fladelons. Andreas Vesaliusstraat. Vlaams geneeskundige. Okay. We are in Flanders. Oh, and that that sticker here. Fuck VRT. That's the Flemish state television station, apparently. Vlaamse Radio en Televisie. Okay, so someplace in Flanders. Tell your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Löwe. KU Löwe, Dekenstraat. Universitair Sportcentrum. KU Löwe. Exactly. I've never looked up the Battle of Kilishandra. Wait, Löwe has its cemetery right next to its central prison? Dagbladhandel. Geenslaan. Oude Nijvelseweg. Celestijnenlaan. Okay, Dekenstraat. And what is... Okay. Need it. Okay, Trattoria Etna. Bakkerij Vergrootloon. Well, someplace near KU Leuven. Zal zijn goed genoeg. $866 meters off. Not bad. Okay, this has got to be North America. Oh, we got a bin here. Let's see what that bin says. We don't get to know what that bin says because it's too blurry. But you got a North American style mailbox. Oh, that might be a more informative. Well, different levels of action. Oh, fuck, another dead end. I mean, it could be that there was not a whole lot of... that it wasn't anything particularly significant. Or it could also be that somebody needed a rhyme. Something that would rhyme with Flanders. Although surely another option would have been you've got wankers for commanders. That would rhyme with Flanders even better than Kildashandra. 706 area code. Nature's own bakery outlet. Fletcher Auto Sales. Yeah, exactly. It's true. Peach Orchard. Okay. I didn't know why I'm complying with the wrong way sign, although the resolution in that direction seemed a lot worse. Augusta, Georgia. I was just thinking maybe Georgia. Peaches and all. Millions of peaches. Peaches for free. Okay, so possibly Augusta. Oh, I see. I need to adjust my crop on there. For a second, this was out of focus, and I thought it said fibroids choose life, and it's like, that's taking it to a whole new fucking level. I mean, like, I was like, but I could also believe that somebody, okay, it's an intersection of 520 and 20, and we're in Georgia. But I could also believe that pro-lifers in Georgia might have said, that they've decided to defend the life of fibroids. I could see them doing that as the thing. Peach Orchard Road. Is that still Peach Orchard Road? No, it's Gordon Highway. Okay. Well, we're in Georgia now. Name a delicious cheese from Georgia. And I like the idea, by the way, Jill. Hello. Yeah, let's name some cheeses. I'm there for it. Oh, okay. I see. It's a ring road. They don't call them ring roads here. I don't. Fuck do they do? I've never heard a name for them except ring road. But I've never heard them called ring roads here. I've never heard them called anything here. Okay, let's say around here. 1.5 kilometers, not bad. Well, okay, let's stick to countries then. Delicious U.S. cheese. Okay, and before that was Mexico. To me, Beltway is specifically DC. Okay, Gotija, Gouda. There is a pizzeria in Havana that all of their pizzas are made with Gouda. I just read. This is something I randomly found when I was sort of just messing around on Google Maps. I was looking at pizza options in Havana, and there was one. It's like everything was made with 100% Gouda. It's like, yeah, it does not feel North American to me either. Yeah, and this is metric. Those are metric speed limits. Yeah, definitely. We've got goats. Okay, it's a goat place. It's a goat country. 110-kilometer-an-hour goat country. Yeah, I've never seen a. Actually, now you mention it, I don't think I've ever seen a center divider like that. It's always just one line. Well, I don't know. Maybe that too. Okay. Prenus. Oh, hold on. Let's see what we got. Lastik tamiri oto yıkama koçaklar Türkiye'de. We are in Turkey. We're someplace in Turkey. Oh, well, yeah. Uluslararası nakliyat. İzmir. Durak. Durak beton. What I love about this sign is that a Russian speaker can read this and feel that it is in their language, except that durak in Russian means like fool. And I'm pretty sure that's not, and well, beton is beton. But I don't think that they think that they're calling it fool concrete. Durak beton. Okay, well, possibly Izmir. That's the only place name we've seen. But it was on the trailer of a semi, so your mileage may vary. Let's see, what's the topography look like around Izmir? Turkish delicious cheese, Jill? I know various delicious Turkish food things, but I can't even think of a Turkish cheese. Wait, that's as far as we get to go on this? ここまでだ. Ah, okay, there you go. Okay, no point in going all the way back to where we were when we can just just go straight back to the origin and hope we can find a distance sign someplace here. And it's true, sheeps do milk feta as far as they can. And they milk feta for all it's worth. Bloody sheeps. Resting on their laurels. All they ever do is grow hair and block Welsh trains. That are actually owned by Germany. I feel like this could go on forever, so we're gonna say it's someplace. The exact opposite end of the country, yes. That's the trouble of, hello, Dr. John A. Williamson. Mexican Mennonite cheese. Well, I guess he did say, blessed are the cheesemakers. Ah. Okay. This is a place. I'm really not certain where it could be. Okay, it's not North America anyway. That style of holder for construcción. Algo. Construcción Centro Educativo. We're in a Spanish speaking country. Okay. San Felipe La Taula, Quebra Grande, Santa Lucía Los Ocote. Never heard of any of them. Okay. I mean, bits of the area around Medellin look a lot like this. That's a possibility. I've been to. They've taken me to Colombia a few times. They say Oaxaca is just an amazing culinary destination. The food there is just incredible. Personally, one of my minor culinary, well, yeah, I suppose minor ambitions in the culinary field is to make a mole poblano properly. To make like the full on 3-day preparation with all the different layers of flavor and shit. That just looks incredible. It tastes amazing, and it would just be cool to attempt it. Auto Hotel La Colina. Higiene. They advertise the fact that they've got toilets. Senza. Get in a little bit closer. San Jose, Sanarate, let's get in. Let me see. Sanarate, El Progreso. Servicio Integrado de Salud. Well, that's not Chile. Sanarate. Guayacán. There's a Guayacán in Chile, but this does not feel like Chile. One of the best beers I've ever had in Chile. It was called, in fact, Jalapa, Guatemala. Ok, estamos en Guatemala, weón. Ok. It's el Tenango. No, Guatemala. Sanarate. Estamos en Sanarate. There we go. El Progreso is a district, department in Guatemala. So, Sanarate. 7.7 kilometers. It's only the second time I've been sent to Guatemala. Well, not bad at all, especially considering that I got exactly the wrong end of Turkey. Ah, queso fresco. So it's Mexico adjacent. Okay. And now it is time to bowl the bouncers at the chuds. Now, we had started a video last night about Cotija, about how wokeness killed country music. Now, we could continue on with that. We could, try a different, we've got a whole hour, well, nearly. So, I was thinking, I like this idea of doing a PragerU short and then doing something longer. And so maybe Storytime Otto's Tales Today is Flag Day, followed by Has Non-Compete Absolutely Obliterated. Yeah. I met some people from Belize when I was in LA. They had their own homemade hot sauce with these pickled chilies. It was incredible. And a very interesting variation of English as well. Okay, I think that's what we're gonna do. Did I already pop up the volume? Yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did. I commented on it as well, because in that Has video that he's commenting on there, Has mistranslates a word in Dugin's book. In that section where Has is trying to explain why Dugin saying that fascism is a good thing doesn't mean he's a fascist, he mistranslates the word государственный, which means state, as an adjective. And I commented on that. Yeah, that was an excellent video. Bit long on Lenin quotes for my taste, but I think it did a pretty good job of dissecting this mob. Okay, but now it's time for Otto's Tales. Okay.
Welcome to Otto's Tales, story time.
Okay, they've got that fucking banner on the bottom again, so is it going to cover up any of their title cards? Yeah, I mean, that was an excellent
Brought to you by PragerU Kids. I'm Jill, and today we're going to read a story about something really special to all of us.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the recipe for the Vera Pizza Napoletana. We're going to talk about value theory. What are we going to talk about?
You want a hint? Well, it's red, white, and blue, and has 50 stars on it.
Well, I mean, that first bit, I love how people in the US act like red, white, and blue is somehow a distinctive thing when so many fucking flags. I think it may be the most common color scheme for flags. Oh, I understand. This must be very hard for you to watch as a Jill yourself. I mean, let me see. Let's see how many countries we can name with red, white, and blue flags. Okay, I'll start. Cuba. North Korea, South Korea, but they've also got black in it, so we'll take that one back. Czech Republic, Britain, Russia, the Netherlands, France. God, let me see. There are a bunch more. Chile, certainly. Yeah, I've got Russia and France. I mean, there are a lot of them, in any case. It's so weird that people act all distinctive about it. Okay, so...
Yay! Yes, Otto!
You know, I've not seen people. I watch fucking North Korean TV, and I have not even seen on there. And there are a lot of fucking flags on North Korean TV. I've never once seen somebody act that excited just to be holding a flag. Luxembourg, good, yeah. New Zealand.
We are reading today about our American flag. Thank you. Hey, what do you have there?
Oh, just a case of mange.
Now, what are these?
Kindling. I mean,
American flags? I don't know about that because this one has 13 stars.
see, the thing is, when it's PragerU, you don't know if she's doing a bit or if she really is that ignorant.
And this one has 15 stars, and our American flag, Otto, has 50 stars. So these cannot be American flags. Are you sure they're American flags?
Jesus. This is like... Well, thank you for that. Like, yeah, I mean, I remember we, at the anniversary of it was the 200th anniversary of the U.S. Constitution, my school, Jerry Springer spoke at it. Just to give you an idea what time period we're talking about. And they handed us all these little flags. And then they told us we absolutely must not have them pointing down. And we certainly must not put them on the ground. And so we all got fucking arm cramps, standing there, listening to Jerry Springer drone on about Republican virtues.
Should I read our story and find out if these are American flags?
I thought you just told us that they were. I mean... Oh, we're supposed to pretend we didn't hear that. Like, this makes Barney look like it's designed to be challenging.
Okay, hey, are you able to be responsible for me and take good care of these while I read our book?
Yeah, go shit on him, Otto.
Okay, thank you, Otto. Oh, and don't let them touch the ground.
Oh, Otto is the dog? Yeah, oh god, don't let them touch the ground. Yeah, god.
Okay, let's read Otto's Tales. Today is Flag Day.
Why does the little kid have fucking gray hair?
Ruff, ruff! I'm Otto. My best friend Dennis and I are so excited.
My best friend Dennis? What, this is Dennis Prager's fucking self-insert character? Ah, enjoy.
It's almost summertime. It's so warm and...
Well, this animation, look, the fucking dog's legs aren't even moving. This is the shittiest animation ever. And look,
sunny.
Look at this. The frisbee and the dog are traveling at the exact same rate of speed. This is what the...
It's a perfect time to go for a swim.
Oh, okay, now they've adjusted
Dennis said. Yes, I barked. We can have ice cream by the pool.
Oh, okay, so this is... Okay, so he's playing... So the author, Dennis Prager, is... telling this from the perspective of his own dog.
That sounds great.
I think everybody who's been around Dennis ends up getting gray hair pretty quickly.
Great, Dennis replied. But it's also the perfect time to be grateful for our country.
Yeah, you know, as kids say to their dogs. You know, Fluffy, yes, okay, we can throw the frisbee, but have you thought at all about our Republican virtues today? Have you thought at all about the revolutionary exploits of the great leader George Washington? Oh, I've had dogs that absolutely fucking love chasing shit into water. I mean, I've had dogs that hate it too, but I've had dogs where you take them to the beach, if you take them to a lake or something like that and chuck a frisbee into it, they're totally into getting it. I mean,
Do you know that Flag Day is coming up?
okay. And the dog. So why is he telling his dog this? Is this Dennis Prager's way of telling us that he never had any friends, and he's wearing a fucking tie as he's throwing his frisbee to his dog?
Do! I shouted. I love our country's flag, especially the colors red, white, and blue.
Yeah. Ooh. I mean, this is like I have to say. Oh yeah, I bet that's another one of these auto tales. Jesus, this is worse than their normal kids propaganda. And I just have to say, I have um I have watched most of like the full broadcast date of like DPR KTV when I'm working. I have it on as background music. And even their children's programming, as preachy as everything is on North Korean television, is preachy as fuck. It is not subtle about it either. It still manages to be less overtly just like shoehorning the stuff in than this. This is actually worse children's propaganda than Korean Central TV.
Why do you think those are the colors of our flag?
Because it's the most common color scheme of in national vexillology. Otto the dog replied. Like, why is he asking his dog?
I don't know, answered Dennis. Let's
Wait, the dog is the one asking him about the colors of the flag? Is the dog actually is the big surprise reveal going to be that the dog's actually like ET's supervisor come to check in on him?
find out why, and we can also learn about Flag Day.
No, fuck that. I want to throw the frisbee by the pool.
We jumped onto Dennis's couch. This can be our time machine. Good idea, Otto.
He's blaming the dog for this really crappy way of wasting an afternoon.
Off we go. Zoom! We
Zoom.
traveled to Philadelphia in 1778.
Yeah.
Americans were fighting for an independent United States. A lady waved to us from the street and walked across. When she reached us, she said, "Hello, I'm Betsy Ross."
Okay.
I was so
what's great about this is you really just kind of feel. You get a feeling for the period. It just feels like you're there. Yeah, good point, Jill S. I'd forgotten that.
excited that my tail began to wag.
God, look at this! Look at this animation. This is like the kind of animation I do. On the very rare occasions when I animate things, which I don't because it's a pain in the ass.
Dennis asked, "Aren't you the one who designed our nation's flag?"
And she said, "Yeah, aren't you supposed to be a little bit careful about changing the timeline and fucking up future events? I haven't designed any nation's flag at the moment. Right now, I'm just rolling joints for the Washingtons."
She answered, "Some say that's a myth and it might not be true.
Some say that's a myth and it might not be
But I'd
true.
be happy to share the story of the first flag with you."
Oh God, okay. So now all of a sudden it's rhyming. Like, just out of nowhere, it's rhyming, and it's rhyming badly.
"In 1776, said Betsy, "we declared ourselves a nation. We needed a symbol to pass down to future generations."
But Betsy, said Otto, there's no... Even without alliteration, your pedestrian rhymes smack of nationalist masturbation. Well, yes. So what we're saying is that Betsy Ross ought to be freaked out by the weird animal?
1 year later, she continued, Congress settled on a flag design.
Wait, okay, but supposedly we've gone back to... So she's now telling the dog about events that haven't happened yet from her perspective?
I barked. It took them until 1777 to make up their minds. Betsy added, the flag started with 13 stars on that date. Dennis shouted,
But as far as she's concerned, why would you say it that way? Because it's still, as far as she's concerned, it still has 13 stars. Like, this is so, like, they couldn't find any actual people who know how to write stories for children. I think that should feel, I think that's possibly a good thing, that this stuff is just so badly done that they couldn't possibly have had any professional involvement.
That's because at the time, there were only 13 states.
And Betsy said, what the hell do you mean by that? There still are only 13 states.
I barked. The big red stripes on the flag look so nice.
No, they just look like they're just straight lines.
Betsy said, red symbolizes our nation's courage and sacrifice.
Fun fact, military graves aren't crosses, specifically because, U.S. military graves aren't crosses specifically because not all of the people buried under them are Christian.
Dennis asked, what's the rectangle in the corner and why is it blue? Betsy responded,
Jesus.
Blue represents justice for all.
It does? Yeah, exactly. Why isn't she freaking out about that? Oh, well, what's going on here is that this is... I bet this is... I want to know, like, did Dennis Prager write this himself? Who the fuck wrote this? This is, like... This is just so badly done. Wait, Mask, I just noticed you said that the flags would be tinder, not kindling. Well, now I'm curious. There's a difference? I didn't know there was a difference between tinder and kindling.
Including me and you. I said, you'll know why there are white stars and stripes, of that I am sure. Betsy replied, the color white reminds us to...
Because that this country is founded by a bunch of white supremacists.
Always be pure.
What?
Betsy replied, the color white reminds us to always be pure.
Oh, well, that's a little mask off there, PragerU.
I barked. Over time, our country grew at a very fast pace. One day, that flag will have 50 stars on its face.
Like, okay, and... Oh, I see. Interesting. Yes, yeah, the white, symbolizes the importance of purity, apparently. Well, and that there's absolutely nothing problematic there.
50 stars on our nation's flag? Betsy exclaimed. Dennis responded, yes, but the red, white, and blue colors remain the same.
Well, I mean, this is such riveting writing. I mean, you just feel, you care about the characters. Like, if Godzilla were to appear in the middle of this and flatten all three of them, you would, I suppose, feel mildly peeved that you sat through all this and the only resolution is that they all got flattened by Godzilla. Yes, it grew, just sort of organically, not not because of any kind of genocidal imperialist strategy of conquest or
I
anything.
said, thank you, Betsy. We would really love to stay. But now we're going
to join the IRA.
To learn about the first Flag Day, we zoomed off to...
Wait, okay. What the fuck? So they used the couch to get back to the late 18th century. And then in the late 18th century, they catch an early model prop plane to fly to the future where there is the first Flag Day.
49 in Washington, D.C. In the White House, we saw Harry Truman.
And what's he doing with his hand there?
President 33. He said, "Our nation's founding fathers had a great vision." On June 14th of 1777,
Jesus, I mean, it's there's no story to this. It's just people like being lectured. This is so badly done.
they reached an important decision. I barked.
Wait, okay, so the dog is the one doing all the talking?
We met Betsy Ross, and she told us the whole story.
And then Harry Truman said, "Meeting you has been just like purgatory." Yeah, and they're coincidentally the colors of quite a few fucking flags.
Dennis chimed in. Congress selected a flag. We now call it Old Glory.
Well, and thank you for informing me of that weird kid in the flight hat with the talking dog.
Yes, said President Truman. They chose a flag with the
Wait, where did he get the fucking flag from? He didn't have a flag a second ago.
colors red, white, and blue. To the flag's values, they hoped we'd always stay true. I barked. I love our...
Yeah, he barks every single time. Yeah. Quando Repubblichino omaggia un germano, alza la mano destra al saluto romano. Ma se per caso incontrano gli altri partigiani, per salutare alza entrambe le mani.
Flag and the
An old partisan song. It means, when a fascist meets a German, he raises his right hand in the Roman salute. But if he should happen to meet us partisans, he greets us by raising both his hands.
values it represents. I couldn't agree more, smiled the president. To honor those values, he continued, and those who fought on the nation's behalf.
Oh, wait, they don't even bother to maintain some kind of... to any kind of meter to... Wait, what was the...
To honor those values, he continued, and those who fought on the nation's behalf.
I'm going to put on this red, white, and blue plethysmograph. Yeah, it's called Festa d'Aprile. It's the song that is sung a lot to commemorate the defeat of the fascists in Italy on the 25th of April. It's a great song. It goes on for several verses in much the same vein.
I'm approving this new law by signing my autograph. Dennis said, thanks to this law, June 14th will now be Flag Day.
Okay, we've just thrown the rhyme scheme out the window.
I barked. On this day, across the country, the flag will be on display.
As opposed to the other days when it's just hidden.
The president replied, our flag is special with all that it stands for. Treat it with respect.
And honor Ivo Shandor.
And never let it touch the floor. I barked. Seeing the flag on the White House is as good as it gets.
Now let's get a case of whiskey and a carton of cigarettes. No, it's a totally different rhythm. I mean, it's totally different melody and everything. Same era, also an Italian partisan song. There are a few good ones. Italian partisan music is, it's pretty next level. They do very interesting things with melody and stuff. Great lyrics too, and it's in Italian. I love Italian.
Dennis replied, "Oh, Otto, you haven't seen anything yet."
Yeah, that's true. Otto has clearly not seen anything yet if he thinks seeing the flag on top of the White House is the best thing is as good as it gets.
We then zoomed to 1969 in a faraway place. We were like astronauts flying through the vastness of space.
Well, these flags are sort of backwards.
Dennis yelled, "Look, Otto! There's the flag planted on the moon!"
And Otto barked, "I hope this fucking story ends soon." It is.
I barked,
Another good one is I ribelli della montagna. Ma quella siamo I ribelli della montagna. Viviamo distenti di patimenti, però la fede che ci accompagna sarà la legge dell'avvenire.
Let's see who put it there by landing on that dune.
I don't think the moon actually has dunes.
When we landed, we saw two astronauts walking nearby.
And they kicked us in the ass and taught us to fly.
Their names were Neil and Buzz, and when they saw us, they said hi.
There's absolutely no story structure to this at all. It's just things related to the flag. I can't imagine the child whose interest would actually be held by this.
Dennis asked, "How did you two get to this faraway land?" Neil responded, "Many people worked hard to make our trip well planned."
That doesn't answer the question, and it's also just maybe, you see, there are people who can do verse and tell a story in verse, and there are people who cannot tell a story in verse. Whoever wrote this is a person who cannot tell a story in verse. They should just stick to not making things rhyme.
Buzz added, "For centuries we've explored by traveling the seas." I barked,
Would you like some foot and mouth disease? Oh well, my personal favorites are Parmigiano Reggiano, Pecorino Romano, Mozzarella di Bufala, and Provolone.
"With rockets, we can now travel through the galaxy."
I could fucking eat my way
Neil
through Italy.
explained, "We were in a..."
See, that's how well they have crafted this propaganda. That we've ended up just talking about, Italian food. It's like a clip show on sitcoms. You know, sometimes the writers didn't feel like, I did too. Not quite as large a quantity of Reggiano as I imagine that you were cutting. You know, where it's like, there was one on Star Trek: The Next Generation where Riker's having some sort of a coma type episode thing, and so it causes him to relive short bits of previous episodes in order to relieve everybody of having to actually make a show. And this is like that, except we don't get clips.
A race to be the first nation on the moon. We won that race by landing here just this afternoon.
Oh.
Dennis said, "Seeing the flag planted here is a sight I'll always treasure."
And then the dog did a shite.
Buzz replied, "It reminds us what Americans can do when we work together."
Pleasure together.
I barked, "I'm so glad we went on this amazing ride."
Jesus Christ, this is the ever end. This is taking forever. Like, they've decided that their videos for adults are, they try to aim for like 5 minutes because they know their bullshit can't hold somebody's interest for that much longer. This is 9 minutes. And it is like, there's nothing to hold somebody's
Being an
interest.
American fills me up with so much pride. But it was time to go, and with a great loud boom, our time machine flew us back to Dennis's room. "That was my favorite adventure yet," I barked. You say that every time, Otto. Well, I loved
Oh, yeah. I mean, isn't it so cute? They have a running gag.
learning about the American flag and Flag Day.
Like, I mean, they managed to take, they make nationalist propaganda and then try to avoid doing anything that's inspiring.
Yes, our founding fathers left us a wonderful gift with the flag. I'm glad we have a day to honor the flag and everything it means, I said. Me too, replied Dennis.
With the dog, why the fuck does the dog care? The dog doesn't know what country he's in.
I will always be proud of our flag and our country. God bless America, and happy Flag Day. Happy Flag Day!
Jesus fucking Christ.
Ruff, ruff. Wow, did you know that our American flag is on the moon?
Nobody's awake.
That's something special. Hey, Otto! Otto! This is also
Oh, Otto's about to tell her that some relative of hers died in combat.
something really special. You folded our big American flag?
Yes, in the way that they hand it to you when one of your close relatives has died in one of the many imperialist wars that are being fought under that flag.
This is the proper, exact way to do it, too. I'm impressed, Otto. Not a lot of people know how to take care of our flags like this anymore. By any chance, did you learn how to do this by watching our PragerU Kids how-to video?
God, they made a how-to video for that?
I had a feeling. Good job. We should all learn how to
Oh, that's right. She's the one who gets freaked out on live streams about the fact that some schools are acknowledging that there are trans people.
take care of our flag. It represents our beautiful country and all of us. Thank you for watching Otto's Tales. Check out some of our other stories too. Keep reading, keep watching.
Jesus, this is fucking painful to watch. I mean, I knew I was in for some condescending reactionary bullshit. It is the PragerU brand. But fucking hell.
And keep honoring our American flag. Bye, guys. This is so cool. Can you teach me how to do it?
Jesus. I mean, I guess the best thing I can say about that is that it is so boring and uncompelling that I don't think it is necessarily going to be particularly that it's going to be particularly convincing to anyone. Like, nobody is going to watch that and be like, oh wow, I should get into American nationalism. Okay, in our last 20 minutes we've got Infrared, we've got Haz claiming to have absolutely obliterated non-compete. We've got the rest of Dark Brandon is Rising from Xanderhole. We've had Xanderhole saying he almost agreed with Ben Shapiro, which only happens once or twice an episode, that he agrees with Ben Shapiro, or sounds like him. We've got a 15-minute video from PragerU Kids on the Russian Revolution. That could be, I mean... Well, I'm seeing this new sort of area of far-right entryism that is sort of trying to... it started to show up in my comments a bit, where the idea is to claim that if you sort of ignore everything but very selected bits of Marx, then you can say that actually he was kind of okay with fascism. And then what you do is you just annoy people by going, why? Why do you say he's a reactionary? Well, he does all these things. Yeah, but why do you say he's a reactionary as if you never said it? And just wasting your time. And they seem to be mostly really annoying fucking people. And I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to show up there. We've still got a lot of Ask Me Anything with the Politics Discord. We've got Foch asking whether the right is collapsing in the U.S. We've got Foch asking himself, does he regret how he threw trans people under the bus in order to be misogynistic? And I'm guessing he doesn't. So, what shall we do? What shall we do? Oh, we're doing some Foch.
While the people who...
Okay, who's this guy he's with, first of all? Team.
are canvassing out there are from my community, it's not my thing. The criticism that they could levy would be like, given politician, did you know this group of young volunteers that worked with you earlier are actually associated with an organization, has had advertising work done for them by a streamer who said this 2 years ago? And it's like, that's enough layers of separation that I think we're okay.
What the hell is he talking about here?
Because it's so much more farther removed than like...
Well, I mean, see, it left a bad taste in my mouth that Foch ended up looking better, looking like not completely horrible until the very end of that thing with Haz. So I feel like I need to just I have a little bit of a go at Foch just to...
Like Destiny taking a photo with the mayoral candidate in Omaha before. Like, I want to be hands-off because that...
yes, exactly, because you've never actually done any kind of fucking street organizing. You just sort of talk about this stuff as if you know about it, despite the fact that, indeed, you do not.
Allows the org to flourish in spite of me.
Looking back on your...
that's true. Any leftist org that is flourishing is doing so in spite of him.
Tumultuous relationship with Destiny, do you think he's more helped you or been a pain in your ass? Like, for example, if you lived in an alternate universe where you could grow as a streamer without DGG notoriety, but I told you he wouldn't be reacting to your videos or whatever, would you take that?
Well, it's difficult because...
Okay, that Chinese character on his chest there is meat.
So hello everyone, and hello VGG. I hope you are having a wonderful evening.
What the hell is VGG?
Before we get into speaking to my guest on tonight's episode of the Heme Interviews, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm Heme, and you can find me on twitch.tv/Heme, where I stream generally Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Sleep schedules, 15,000 subs. You can get together for some time now, and me into their impressive career. Andrew Ting, normie appealing podcast. And so I'm trying to tap into that void a little bit. But enough about me. Let me introduce you to my guest this evening. Originally from Los Angeles, California, he's been making content on Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that about him anyway. He has been making content, and it is on Twitch.
And YouTube since around 2019. His astronomical growth encouraged myself and many others to try their hand at streaming and content.
that immediately makes me think that his presence in streaming is probably not a good thing, because anyone who's been inspired by Vosh and not in the sense of trying to undo the damage Vosh has been doing. Yeah.
Content creation. He's best known for his debates against big-time right-wingers like
No, he's best known for his organizing racist hate mobs against leftists of color.
Stefan Molyneux, Sargon of Akkad, Charlie Kirk, and more. And he's one of the most divisive figures in the online left today. Whether you
Yeah, well, I mean, except he isn't on in any meaningful sense.
love him, hate him, or just watch him for Bloodborne video gameplay, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, put your hands together for the one and only Vosh Vidya. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, weighing in at 230 pounds, 6'2", on that corner. It's going good. How about you?
I'm okay. Nice to thank you for sitting down and doing this with me. I feel like one of the hardest parts of content creation is getting people to organize a schedule, and kind of getting people to commit to stuff in a far in advance. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna skip ahead here.
So I think a lot of people.
This is why doesn't he do as many debates? And this should
we're
be
saying that they wanted me to ask this of you. That your content has shifted a little bit in the past year or so. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, it's harder to get good debates. I think the main issue is that I've decided a lot of conversations are genuinely not worth having. In the sense that, like...
I think a lot of people have also decided that certain conversations are not worth having, including any conversation with Vosh.
No information can be derived from them, and no benefit, like in a business sense, can be derived from them.
Well, yeah, exactly. That is exactly why I would say a conversation with Vosh is an absolutely pointless endeavor. No information can be derived from them because he doesn't really know anything. And, and no, in a business sense...
Outside of whatever promotional work I'm doing on their behalf, so they can do their, performance art on my stream. I've also been trying to avoid drama more, mostly because it gets boring.
Oh yeah, because Vosh hates the drama.
Boring. That's really circular. I'll still cover stuff when it happens, but I think it's important to focus more on positive, affirmative stuff, like the canvassing efforts that are going on right now. That seems like a better thing to define the community around.
For sure, I'm gonna ask about the canvassing in a little bit, so we'll circle back to that. But I'm
kind of curious what canvassing he's doing.
It's I kind of agree with you in a way, in that sometimes I feel like when you debate ultra right wingers, which is fun, I like to do it just as much as you or anyone else does. When you're talking to them, I don't know, I get a sense that bro, you're not even listening or trying to understand what I'm saying. And
yeah, well, of course not. They don't give a shit. They like being debated. They like that you have agreed to debate them because it gives them a platform to discuss their shit. And no matter how badly you think you've humiliated them, their fans don't care. Oh, thank fuck he does not go to worker strike and file news reports. He'd probably put in a scab shift for him.
And then it ends up just being especially for someone like you, it's you're just using me to amplify your voice or whatever the case may be.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what they're doing, you dickhead. And a lot of us have been pointing out the whole time that, for years, since before Vosh was inspiring people to do shitty content, like the kind of content Vosh does, that there is absolutely no point in debating these people because all you're doing is giving them airtime to spew their bullshit.
Biggest example of this right now are the pro-Russia in the war guys. People who want to, I've gotten so many emails like this. They want to come on stream, and I know what they're going to say when they get here, because, they tell me in the email, actually, they think that Ukraine invaded Russia, or there is no invasion. It's a police action to defend. And these positions are so untenable that the only way you can sincerely believe them is through mental illness or just empirically wrong beliefs that you refuse.
You mean, your stated belief that NATO is a force for good in the world?
used correct. There's no reason to, like, it sincerely is like somebody coming on to argue about, like, Holocaust denialism.
You mean like that time that you endorsed the Nazi propaganda about Jews and banking, and then doubled down on that, and then your little mini-me fucking Xander Hall also said, yeah, but the Nazis were right about that and everything like that, and then that was such bad PR for you that you then decided to lie and pretend that Non-Compete and Luna were the ones who said that, even though it's on fucking film? You mean like that? Is that what you're talking about?
The difference being that Holocaust deniers, like, try to stumble to produce arguments, but in my experience, the like, Russia types don't. Like, I've talked to Holocaust deniers.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, I've actually looked at what the pro-Russia types say. They do attempt to produce arguments, and sometimes, and the issue, and sometimes, some of them are actually fairly well informed. Some of the issue is this: there's a lot of shit you can say about Ukraine. The problem is that none of it actually justifies what Russia's been doing. And aside from, I mean, if you look at it from a certain angle, it, and ignore that the idea is that they're all saying this as a justification for what Russia's doing, then you can say, okay, sort of a lot of this sort of tolerably accurate in some cases. I'm not talking about always. There's some of them completely full of shit. But some of them, because there's a lot of stuff that you can say about Ukraine that's totally factually accurate and is horrible. And would make anyone question, and should make anyone question why, we're supposed to stand that regime without any reservation. But the problem is, they then, their whole conclusion that they're encouraging is, of course, that therefore what Russia's doing is okay, and also Russia's totally blameless, and there's absolutely nothing bad you can say about Russia, and that's complete bullshit. It's a complete load of shit. I mean, it's basically what we're looking at is a fault line in fascism. So the idea that they're not, like, coming up with any arguments is just wrong. They are coming up with arguments. They're not good arguments because the conclusion they're trying to draw just doesn't follow from them. I don't think Vosh even knows what historical materialism is.
It's fun to pick through their evidence, look at this door, it's made out of wood. Look at this pool, it's a swimming pool. They must have been swimming, not bad, Cyclone B isn't even harmful, like, it's fun to pick through those conspiracy theories because they feel like they have an effort to try, but some people will just fold their arms and be like, yeah, actually, all of Ukraine is Nazis, and they invaded Russia, and Russia's defending itself. Why do you think that? What? Because
I should note, I have not heard this Ukraine invaded Russia version. I've heard a few arguments, but I've not heard that one. I don't know, that may mean that it isn't, my only source for it even existing is Vosh, so that could very well be that it just didn't happen.
That's what it is. And that's it. It's like, okay, then why the fuck am I talking to you? Like,
well, I mean, that's kind of anyone with any sense, anyone with any, like, valid points is asking that about 5 minutes into an interaction with Vosh as well.
Go build your own clout.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, there's the incentive to do it, because if you clown on them, you're gonna get bangers,
Plus, the only time that, all of Vosh's supposed left cred comes from the fact that he will stand next to, like, literal Nazis, who he's, of course, platforming, and then he looks progressive compared to them. That's his whole thing. He looks progressive compared to actual Nazis. And he's made a career on this. He has convinced people that he is somehow part of the left based on this.
Like,
but you can only clown on people who are participating. If a person's just folding their arms...
I'm clowning on fucking Vosh right now, and he's not participating. He doesn't even know I'm doing this.
And saying really stupid, obviously incorrect stuff with no, like, explanation or justification, and they don't seem flustered at all. They're just confidently saying things that are...
He's describing himself. This is him describing his entire MO right here.
Obviously incorrect. You can't clown on them. It's impossible to clown on them because...
Yeah, see, he is... this is he is actually he actually believes this. Because this is his method, and he thinks that it's impossible to clown on somebody if they do that, and it's literally what he does.
They have no commitment to the things they're saying. They're doing it purely to play with words, like a fascist does. They're doing it.
You mean like somebody who comes up with bullshit hypotheticals and then uses it to claim that somebody is and to claim that white genocide is a thing that exists? For example, I mean like this one debate streamer dickhead, really annoying. You might have heard of him. Got a beard.
They don't have any attachment to the truth value of their statements.
And like Bosch does. I mean,
so because they don't care, they can't really be owned, and therefore there's not really much entertainment value to engaging with them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. First of all, it's just remarkable to me. It's remarkable to hear him saying all this. This is like what people who have been saying it is pointless to debate fascists. It is harmful to debate fascists. Have been saying for years. If he's finally acknowledging that maybe what he's been doing with this, like, debating fascists, you know, platforming them and then disagreeing with them in a civil way, much more civilly, I should note, than, say, the way he, you know, interacted with Professor Flowers, for example. Just to name one fucking example that was extremely, extremely egregious. But yeah, I mean, is he acknowledging that what he actually did was harmful all this time? And if so, is he ashamed of it? Although I don't think he's capable of shame. He manages to just have the same kind of fucking monotone all the time, no matter how ridiculous what he's saying is. It's just that's his entire thing.
Do you feel the same way about red pill types?
No, they believe every word they're saying. Those
no, they don't. Actually, often they don't give a shit about what they're saying.
people are very fun to debate. They're like sweating as they're rolling through their flashcards.
Oh, see, okay, he actually is trying to find some way to justify. Hey, okay, I thought that there might have been some sort of like the germ of an insight forming here. But no, he says, you know, the guy's like, yeah, so what about actual Nazis? No, I love debating actual Nazis. I mean,
trying to remember like every talking point they have on
Flashcards.
what women are like. They care a lot about what they're saying, which means that if they get
you don't think the Russia stands care about what they're saying? First of all, these aren't like discrete categories. A lot of Russia stands are fash.
shown up on something, they actually do get flustered because they're not just here as part of like performance art that they're doing for the sake of clout and monetary gain.
He has to tell himself this because otherwise he has to acknowledge that what he's doing is harmful. And with that, I suppose it is time. Yeah, exactly. MRAs, all your fash, all your best fash. All the people who decided to take the Wachowski sisters' creation and just wipe their asses all over it. And now it is time for me to call it a night. I will probably be switching over to hyperpolyglotting in, I don't know, half an hour or so. If anyone wants to join me there for some Duolingo speed running. So have a good night, and I will see you again on the Untitled Anarchist Seagull channel on Friday at 11:30 p.m. and Saturday as well. And on hyperpolyglotting at various times in the afternoon and the late night over the next week. And for anyone who is enjoying the stream and wants to, I do love when I find new patrons on my Patreon. If anyone feels so inclined, that helps me do more and spend more time making content and shit. And just helps me out in the sense of helping me cover these sort of slower periods in translation, of which the summer tends to be one. So have a good night. Thank you so much for coming and joining me in chat and everything and watching this horrible, horrible fucking content with me. And I hope we can do it again together next week.